I really like living in London. I also like wearing the Chelsea shirt.
In 2012, Brazilian star Oscar left Internacional for a life in London.
It was a huge change, because Inter is obviously one of the biggest clubs in Brazil, one of the biggest teams to have won the Club World Cup. But I came to a club that had just won the Champions League. It's one of the biggest clubs in Europe and the world, so it was a massive upheaval. But I ended up adapting very well.
In his 4 years at Chelsea, Oscar has become a regular fan favourite, thanks to his mix of hard work and carefree attacking play.
It's hard to explain the differences in styles. In Brazil, I obviously played a lot more up front. I always looked to attack. I always wanted to score goals and run with the ball. Here, I learned a lot about marking, about tactics. I learned many things to enhance my skills, to improve my positioning. I've learned more about that side of the game.
The arrival of Antonio Conte at Chelsea has breathed new life into the squad after the disappointment of last season.
It was really down to confidence, and Conte is rebuilding that confidence in the whole team. He's leaving every player free to do what they do best, and this approach is helping us a lot. If we keep playing like we are, I'm sure we'll be fighting for everything this season. But here every game is very difficult, regardless of who you're playing against, from the top to the bottom, and that's why it's the best league in the world. I also want to get back into the Brazilian national team, because I wasn't called up for the last game, and I hope I can return soon.
Oscar came to global attention in 2011, scoring a hat-trick against Portugal in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup final.
That game was unforgettable, both for how the game itself turned out and for my goals. We took the lead, and then they equalised. And then in the second half we went behind, but I managed to score again. So that was already really cool for me. It was a very exciting game. And I ended up scoring a third goal in extra time. It was a beautiful goal, where I went to cross and the ball ended up going in past the goalkeeper. So the luck was with me that day, because it's not every day you score 3 goals in one game.
He graduated quickly to the senior Seleção, and despite the despair of their home World Cup in 2014, Oscar and Thiago Silva were the 2 Brazilians included in the official team of the tournament.
That was very satisfying. I couldn't even have imagined it. But then the guys who run El Seleção said to me, "You're amongst the best in your position, you're playing well." And I ended up playing every game really well, always creating a lot and helping the team a great deal. I think not just offensively, but also defensively as well. I ended up being picked in the World Cup 11. Even though most people don't really remember that because of what happened to the Brazilian team, of course. When you lose, everybody wants to forget about it all. But personally, I was very happy. Tite isn't particularly well known abroad, but Brazilians know him very well for the excellent job he did with Corinthians. He's a great coach, and I think it's very important for him to be able to work away from the spotlight, and we hope he'll help us a lot.
He's still only 25, but already has quite a medal collection.
This is for being Premier League champion, and this is for winning the Capital One Cup. This is from the 1000th game of the Brazilian national team, Brazil against Colombia.
So much has been won, but the drive remains to achieve much more, particularly in those elite competitions, the FIFA World Cup, the Champions League, and the FIFA Club World Cup.
For Brazilians and South Americans, this is a very serious tournament. I do want to win it. I've played in it twice, with Internacional when we lost, and also with Chelsea when we lost again. I think I've fulfilled my dream of playing in every competition I set out to, but I also want to win them. I want to lift the World Cup and the Champions League trophy. I haven't won either of those yet, So I'll fight to the end of my career to try to win these titles. I'm always trying to improve, and I think I've been doing that at Chelsea. I'm about to complete 200 games here, and I've already been capped many times by Brazil. I've also scored many goals, so I'd like to be remembered as a great player.
grande jogador.